सर्व वेदांत सिद्धांत गोचरम तम गोचरम गोविंदम परमानंदम सद्गुरुं प्रणतोस्म्यहम्। Verse number 136. नियमितमनसामुं त्वं स्वामात्मानमात्मानं ययमहमिति साक्षात् विद्धि प्रसादात् जनी मरणतरंगा पार संसार सिंधुम प्रतर भव कृतार्थो ब्रह्म रूपेण संस्थः। So here, as we have been discussing, that how the mind plays a big role in understanding one's own self, also living in life. So while discussing all these things in details, how it works, now here it says, look, how one should focus on that to do the regulation of the mind. So niyamita manasa. So if the mind is regulated, and of course buddhi prasada, it's very nice. In fact, somewhere I heard somebody's name, I was shocked, first time I never heard. I asked the person, what is your name? Buddhi prasada. Because I have got, heard Sarada Prasada, Venkatesa Prasad, a lot of Venkatesa Prasad, this, that, Vishnu Prasad, Durga Prasad. Because in Orissa you see a lot of Prasad, okay, only Prasad. But I asked Buddhi Prasad. First time I was shocked, oh, such a great name. I said, do you know what is the Buddhi Prasad? He said, Buddhi Prasada Buddhi. I said, hey, it is not a Prasada Buddhi, you have to work for it, okay? For all other Prasada, it comes automatically. Venkatesa Prasada means you go to Venkatesh, do something, so Prasada comes. Or because your parents went to Venkateswara, that's why they prayed, maybe because of that reason, your name is Venkatesa Prasad. Whereas Buddhi Prasada is not like that. Whoever has given your name as Buddhi Prasada, really I admire them. I really respect them because they know something. So here, Buddhi Prasada. So sometimes, we need to get the Prasada of Buddhi, you understand? So Prasada of Buddhi comes that time when the intellect is not adulterated. The decision making faculty is not confused. Adulterate means not confused. So that means it is purified. Can you see this point? So that means what? We need both. One is regulated mind. Why regulated mind? If mind brings a lot of things, lot of unnecessary informations, even if you have the topmost intellect, even if your discrimination faculty is very strong, I'll tell you, one day or other, you will get carried away, you will be tired and exhausted. Because it's very simple. That's why you can see all the top people, especially if you observe starting with, whenever we go for any training, even if in school time, supposed to be, we supposed to have this uniform. What is the purpose of uniform? So that you don't waste much time choosing this dress, that dress. Unnecessary, you don't allow your mind to bring unnecessary information. Suppose morning you start this dress, that dress, that dress. That means what? Each one of us, this is the most important aspect, like how the physical body works, also mind works in the same way. A physical body, has its own limitation. It varies person to person. You can improve also. For example, let us say, if I can do, let us say 50 push-up, maybe your body will allow 100 push-up or 30. It varies from person to person. Now if I have, let us say, power of 50 push-up, I can increase 50 to 80. So that is a buffer zone. You understand? If I keep working on, there is a buffer zone. Let us say 50 to 8 I can push up. Now if I do more than 80, definitely my body is not going to cooperate later on. Impossible. That's why all the athletes and of course bodybuilder, they collapse after some time. Because body cannot cooperate, it's impossible. Body has its own limitation. Same thing also, mind has its own limitation. This intellect has its own limitation. So each one of us has got a power to use or to decide. Maybe 5,000 to 10,000. Here is 50 to 80, very less gap, margin. Here margin is more, that's the difference, okay? So let us say, for example, now I have every day 5,000 to 8,000 times I can take decision. The discriminative power can be used 5,000 to 8,000. For example, so I am saying it. Now when I get up, whether to get up or not to get up, how to get up, what to do, what not to do. Can you see? While thinking that before leaving the bed, I might have used already 100 or 200. Whether to brush or not to brush, you understand? So by the time you get ready morning by 8 to 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, almost you have used 50% of your decision making faculty. That's why you get tired and exhausted. Can you see why the mind gets into fatigue mode? Because you have used. So why it happens? Because mind brings unnecessary informations. So when mind keeps bringing unnecessary informations, automatically your intellect has to be there. That's why when people are in the topmost position, whether politicians or any company CEOs, why they maintain exclusive life? Why they don't mingle with anyone? Because they don't want to allow the mind to bring unnecessary information. Can you see this point? Because if the unnecessary information comes in, whether you like it or not, you have to use. There is no choice. So that's why here it's being said, if a person wants to have a buddhi prasad, the primary condition will be, don't allow your mind to bring unnecessary information. How is it possible? Means don't allow your sense organs unnecessarily to interact with sense objects. Because if I allow my eyes to see many things, ear to hear many things, tongue to taste many things, nose to smell many things, whether I like it or not, the mind will bring all these informations. Because sense organs are already with the sense objects. Now when I have to use my intellect, I have to be careful. I have to keep, no this, no that. So I will be fighting with me in my mind. Can you see this point? So when I keep fighting with my mind, automatically I am tired and exhausted. So that buddhi, even though I have a sharp intellect, even if I have discriminative power, please understand, I I get tired. Then after that, what I say? Do whatever you want. Like exactly when a child keep asking, again and again, what mothers do? Okay, do whatever you want. Take something and get out from here, okay? Don't come at least for 1 hour in front of me, okay? Do whatever you want. Just 1 hour, get out. That is what is being done. So that's why here is being said. So we need a regulated mind means whatever information is conducive for me, let those information mind bring. That's why Tanme Mana Shiva Sankalpamastu. In Shiva Sankalpa Samhita. Tanme Mana Shiva Sankalpamastu. This is called Shiva Sankalpamastu. Okay? Let my mind be auspicious to me. And how? And of course when that, and then comes Buddhi Prasada, when the intellect is not adulterated. And of course it's purified. Then with that what happens? He says, look, Amum Tvam Swam Atmanam Atmani Ayam Ahamiti Saksyad Vidhi. Vidhi means the person understands. So how the person understands? The understanding happens what? And that too, this as me. That means aparakshanubhutihi. It's not remotely. So how it happens? It says, look, here that person understands. Swam Atmanam Atmani. Now, the Atma that is in oneself. It is not anywhere outside in this body itself. In fact, not looking for anywhere outside. Now that person understands very clearly the self that is in me, in this body, as the self that is being discussed in the scripture. And when the person understands very carefully that Ayam is, that is me, and that me that is being discussed in the scripture so far, whatever we are discussing, Ahamiti, I am that. Then what happens? He says, look, Jani Marana, Taranga Apara Sansara Sindhu. It's a beautiful, nice, beautiful way of presenting. This Samsara Sindhu, ocean of Samsara, means the sense of becoming is called ocean. A never ending ocean, okay? Because never ending, it will never end. And he says, because in ocean, you need taranga, waves. Without wave, that is not fun, you understand? You need, even if whether small or big, some waves have to be there. He says, Jani Marana Taranga. So taranga means waves are what? Jani Marana. Janma means birth and Marana means death. So in the form of birth and death, hopes and heart, hopes and sense of loss. Can you see this point? Because a new hope is a new birth. And of course the sense of loss is death. So that means what I keep doing it, I keep floating, try to float, okay, not floating. I keep sinking, I keep drowning, that's a better word, okay. I keep drowning. And once in a while when a big hope comes, you understand, I get up and little bit see the world, a little bit, you understand. Especially in Indian Ocean, I do not know how many of you have really done swimming in Indian Ocean, okay. I don't know how many have really have swam in the ocean. Really? Can you raise your hand? Some Italians must have done it, okay? Indians, I am sure no. Any one of you have swum in ocean? Not a single person, huh? Raise your hand at least. Nobody, huh? Okay, I know, of course you will, okay. Yeah, you too, good. I expect both of you. Okay, of course. Italians must have done. That I know very well, okay? See, look. This is not, it's a very good thing to do. swimming in the ocean, okay, something really amazing, and especially Indian Ocean. It's very challenging because exact lot of waves, and there is a knack. Because especially in Italy, I have seen actually getting into ocean is like getting into lake. Literally, it is getting into the lake. It's not ocean, okay? But Indian Ocean, when you get in, because you try to get in, wave will push you out. And more than swimming, you need to have confidence in you. And of course, there is a knack to get in. And also you must know the knack how to get out of it. Means come to the shore back. If you do not know this knack, you are finished. And when you get inside the ocean, like at least in Indian case I am talking around 500 meters inside at least, okay? Minimum 300 meters at least. What a beautiful world. Unlike, in this case I can tell you, unlike Italian Ocean. Because I have tried everywhere, that's why I am trying to tell you, okay? Because here what happens, you cannot see anything, okay? In Indian Ocean, only you will see, because there the wave is so big, you cannot see the shore, you cannot see anything. Whereas in Italian Ocean, you can see everything, okay? Don't worry, including the earth, okay? The water is so clear, even if the down below you can see everything, okay? That's another point. Very nice, which I liked it actually, to be very honest. Coming back to the point. So point is not I am going to push you to the ocean, okay? That's not the point. Point is that in life, there are hopes. And of course there are sense of losses. So here he puts it called Janma Marana, birth and death. They becomes the wave. And always we are caught with these waves. And of course, we would like to cross these waves. So whenever we want to, somehow the waves keeps pulling, pushing us, and always we are struggling in these waves. Can you see this point? So he says, look, definitely, when a person is that, always looks for a ocean, already in the ocean, wants to go to the shore. Now, when it wants to go to the shore, now what is to be there? For that, only one can cross, the one who has got this purified mind, intellect, and a regulated mind. And of course, with the understanding of one's own self. Or else, it is impossible. That's why, how is it possible? He says, look, that person is able to, pratarha bhavaha, will be able to cross. And kutartha is really blessed indeed. Brahma rupena swastaha, the one who is abiding within one's own self as Brahman, not as insecure person. Remember, the whole problem in us is, will be seen later on, more in details. Identification and association with the objects. The more we are associated and identified with the objects, the more we are in trouble. It is exactly like, whether you like it or not, if you travel in a countryside, and I am talking about Indian countryside, where road is not proper, I must say, because Indian countryside I have to use the word very carefully. Himalayan, why countryside? Himalayan road. And you keep because I have gone through tough time in my life, okay. Another incident I can tell you openly. Long back, because I have my own problem. Whenever I travel, I want my air conditioner to be on. To be very clear. And there are some people, they don't like air conditioner. I said, don't come with me. Once one group was there, and that group leader was so scared. I had to change 3 vehicles, okay. Hidingly, I was, no, not this, that, because wherever I will go and sit, there in that fellow will go and behind me, he will sit. I said, no, I can't, because I know I can't handle that fellow. Later on, I discovered he was so scared. He said, if I sit in Swamiji's car, my life will be protected. And I cannot forget, we had a very tough time actually, to be very honest. In fact, interestingly, only the car where I was sitting, our car was allowed to pass. Other than that, no other car were allowed. Poor fellows, they had to come, with the mud slushy around, knee deep. Walk at least 500 meters. That is another issue, okay? Big mess, it happened. And that fellow, what he did is, I have my own problem. Please, I have to run air conditioner. No, Swamiji, I don't like. I said, if you don't like, get out. Get out from this car. No, it is cold here. I said, it has nothing to do with cold or heat. This is the point, okay? It has nothing to do with cold or heat. I need air condition to protect my same air the way I am carrying it. That's why if you look at, this is a good trick. When you are traveling long distance, when you go by air condition, you will never get tired, exhausted. Whereas if you keep outside air, you will get tired and exhausted because the prana keeps changing. And of course, in Indian road, Himalayan road, dust. These are 2 points, nothing else to talk. Subtle way prana, gross way the dust. Now, the more you keep in contact with different air, the more your prana is exhausted without your knowledge. And of course, physically dust particles definitely affect. You have to take bath, shower, change everything, whatnot. How it happens? Because of association. Can you see this point? Same thing also, if the mind is associated with many things, so based on the association with the person, object or anything, mind will start picking up that. That's why we say always be associated with higher person, higher thing. Where you will be deriving, where you will be able to really get more energy. But what happens? We associate there wherever mind is comfortable. Wherever mind finds its interest, wherever mind is not challenged, wherever mind is boss, entertained. Can you see this point? So it is a matter of time to understand this point. That's why what is to be done? Now let us look at. If you don't do, definitely you will be in bondage. And what is bondage? Let us look at this verse. Atranatmanyhamiti matirbandha esosya pumsah prapto jnanat janana marana klesha sampata hetu. Yenevayam vapuridama satyamityatma buddhya. Pushyatyukshatyavati visayih tantuvihi kosakrutvat. As usual, Adi Shankaracharya here gives a very strong example. He says, look, Kosakrutvat. So Kosakrut means silkworm. What does the silkworm does? Silkworm, to protect itself, creates a cocoon out of its thread, and later on forgets that the cocoon was created to protect, finally gets cut, and people make use of that cocoon, and that is how the silk thread comes, silk dress comes, okay? So the cocoon was created by that worm to protect. Same cocoon becomes the cause of the death of that silkworm. What a pathetic situation. And if we look at our life, we are worse than silkworm. So that is what is being highlighted here. How? Let us look at, then goes, which ones you understand. Here says, Atra, here, Anatmani ahamiti matihi bandhayesha asya punsha. And how it happens? This comes because ipraptaha agyanatiti. Anatmani ahamiti matihi. So what is not me, I consider that is me. Because of identification, I consider as me. Like body is not me, it is my body, but I consider as me. It is my child, but I consider as me. My house, I consider as me. My power, my position, there are many things. Depends upon person's background and whatnot. So he says, Anatmani, that which is not Atma, that which is not me in very specific way, I consider is me, ahamiti, as me. So not self is considered as self if you want to talk superficially, if you want to talk for oneself. What is not me, I look at as me. And because of this matihi, this buddhi, and this happens because of this identification, because of the association, now that is what called bandha, that is what called bondage. And this bandha is not because of anything, because of ajnana, thank God. So there is somebody, mother-in-law, permanently, so you can blame everything to mother-in-law. Actually, I wanted to cook better things, but mother-in-law did not allow it. Your mother, you understand? They will, your mother, they will never say your mother. Mother-in-law did not allow it. What can mommy are? After all, I have to respect. So poor husband cannot say anything. Has to keep quiet. So there is somebody permanent mother-in-law is there, okay? So the permanent mother-in-law is what? Ajnana. Ignorance. So because of ignorance, now what happens? So there is a issue in me. I consider me as different. Whatever is not me is me. Okay, that is not enough. Then because of that reason, there is janana marana. So there is birth and death. So the death of body is called, loss of the body, or there is something issue happens in the body, I am affected. Or whatever object I am associated, if that object is lost, I am lost. If I get another object, I am happy. So based on the object or people or whatever, all are object, okay? Based on the object of association, now there is birth and death, there is elation and depression. Not only that, kleshaha, miseries, and of course, sampata hetuhu, along with that, all sort of problems. put together. And he says, look, all these things happens why? Yena, eva, ayam bapuhu idam. And because of that reason, now this person, what does he do? All these things starts with this bapuhu. Bapu means this sarira, this body. So through this association, now ayam sariraha, ayam bapuhu, this body which is not real to me, but is considered as what? Real. Now once this body becomes real, then what happens? Now he says, look, what I need to do? Now Atma Buddhya, nothing wrong in it. If it is other way around, no problem. But here, Atma Buddhya is a dangerous word he uses. Atma Buddhya means with the notion of that is me. Now this body is not body, body is me. Now what I do? Pushyati, nourishes. Hey look, now I have become thin. Look, my body has become thin. I have not become thin, okay? I am as I was. Can you see this point? I am sick now. Can you see I am becoming pale nowadays? Something is wrong with me. I need to go to a dietitian, okay? So considering this body as me, now Atma Buddhya, what I do? Pushyati, I nourish, or the person nourishes. Ukshyati, takes care of it, taking bath and whatnot. Abati, preserves, protects. And from what? Of course, Visayehi, with the sense objects. Like how Etam Tuvihi, how this Kosakrutbat, a silkworm, try to protect. Now, finally what happens? Now I get caught with this body. That's why learning to dissociate oneself from the body. Then can Swamiji, that's why I don't care about my body, neglect my body. That is equally dangerous. Because now if you neglect, you will regret. Shastra never says to neglect. Shastra says to take care of the body, not as you, but as body. Can you say this point? Take care of the body as body, not as you. Problem is, when you look at or take care of the body, as you, there the problem starts. Take care of the body best way. That's why we say na, any puja time, Deho Devalaya Proktaha. We say, Deho, we do namaskar before starting a puja. Deho Devalaya Proktaha, Jiva Deva Sanatana, Tyajit Ajnana Nirmalyam, Shoham Bhavena Pujaya. I am going to puja. As I look at myself, Aham Sahaiti, I am that. With that attitude, I do take care of. That's why in Sorosopochara Puja, 16 steps of puja, we do follow the procedures as we are supposed to take care of any guest or anybody in our life. So always the body is being respected. It is a Devala, it is a temple. How the temple is being protected? If temple is not being protected, where will be deity? So if the deity is being kept under the sun, it doesn't work. The energy will not be there. The energy will not be retained. Can you see this point? It will not work. That's why the tribal culture vanished. If you look at it, tribal culture was a great culture. It is another form of Vedic culture. There was no difference at all over the world. But it got vanished because of lack of the structural aspect. That's why one religion came and destroyed. Whereas when it comes to Vedic culture, same deity when it was being placed in a temple, so far we could maintain, we could relate with it. So that's why here is being highlighted that take care of the body as a temple. That's why I say we are not owner of our body, but we are the trustees of our body. And if you are really a trustee of this body, I am sure you will get better body in your next life. With all facilities. Whereas if you think that you are the owner of this body, don't worry. You will get worse body, so that all the time will be wasted to take care of your body, nothing else. So enjoy, okay? So you cannot neglect, nor you can really indulge in your body, both. Okay, now next. Atasmista buddhi prabhavati vimudasya tamasa viveka bhavat vaispurati bhujage rajjudhishana. Tato anarthavato nipatati samadhaturadhikah. Tato yak satgraha sahi bhavati bandha srunu sakhe. I know you people are struggling like anything, okay? Looking at the words, where is and how is it, okay? No problem, it's okay. So here, Adi Shankaracharya gives an example differently. All the time we hear this example of Raju Sarpa example. So Raju Sarpa means, Raju means rope, Sarpa means snake. So rope is being considered as a snake. Then you are scared and whatnot. Now, for a change, Adi Shankaracharya changes opposite way. Sarpa Raju. Imagine a snake is lying down, because you have heard Vedanta a lot. Raju Sarpa, there is nothing called Sarpa, there is nothing called snake. After all, which is only rope. So from your mind, this is completely washed away. This is called half-baked Vedanta. You understand? This is what people go crazy. Vedantin, the so-called Vedantin, they go crazy because of this reason, okay? So now what happens? There is a snake lying down. Anyway, there is nothing called snake, only Raju, which is a rope. Then what you do? You imagine, wow, there is a very beautiful rope lying down, falling there. Now I can take and tie down something. Very strong one. Now what you do? You try to catch hold of that snake, thinking that it is a rope, so that you can make use of it. What will happen? Definitely, that snake is going to bite you. So what a dangerous thing will happen in your life. At least in Raju case, considering rope as a snake, you will shout, you will scream, at least nothing will happen, okay? Only shouting and screaming. You will create some type of fear for others, that's all. Some chaos. But after that, everything will be okay. Whereas in this case, definitely something danger is going to happen. Now this is being highlighted here. So what he says? Now a person is completely, here he says, Atasmin tad buddhihi prabhavati vimudasya. And how is it? Tamasa. Because of tamas. Because of the tamas means the ignorance part, of course. And because of that reason, when the tamas is predominant, there is viveka abhava. Then automatically viveka abhava, the discriminative power becomes absent. Then because of that reason, what happens? Say, look, atasmin tad buddhihi prabhavati. Now, if you look at very carefully there, exactly what happens? Because of this viveka abhava, because of ignorance, now one starts mistaking what is not there as there. And of course, then what happens? The example is, snake is being mistaken, snake is being understood as a rope. Then what happens? You know the situation. That's why he says, then because of that reason, definitely danger happens. And here he says, Tataha yaha asadgraha sahi bhavati bandha sru sakhe. Same thing also, by holding on to, by associating one's own self, or by understanding not self as self, then what happens? Automatically, this is what comes what? This is called as bandha, this is the bondage. So the bondage is not physically, bondage is something. Thinking differently, or thinking wrongly, not differently, thinking wrongly. It is exactly like in night, looking at a post, a lamp post, considering as a ghost. Sometimes it happens, okay? Lamp post not working and considering as a ghost. Because nowadays ghost things are very less, because poor ghosts have run away, okay? Because everywhere light, like you know, all these animals, how they have run away, they don't have place to stay. It's a very unfortunate thing, okay? Earlier, once upon a time, like you know, 100 years back, all over the world, 100 to 200 years back, animals were everywhere. Tigers, and in India, tigers were everywhere. Nowadays, tigers is very difficult to find out. So poor time will come, you know, time will come. God knows what is going to happen. Tigers already they have become a rare species. Unfortunate thing. So we have occupied their space. However, what I am trying to hear is how the ghost is being visualized, is being imagined on a lamppost or on a tree. Now what happens? Every movement of the tree means because of the wind something happens. Now what happens? A ghost is moving. The noise of anything is attributed to the ghost. So how it happens? Same thing also. When a person takes not self as self, whatever it may be. Each one has got a different standpoint. Each one has got different, you know, called preferences. And those preferences comes based on the present life and previous life. Impact. Vasanas, in short. And sense of insecurities. That's why you can see for yourself that if you look at two children from different background or same background, let us say twins are born, you hand over same thing to both of the twins, both of them are not going to accept or happy. Even though both of them are born and brought up with the same parents, same atmosphere. So when one will be attracted towards one color of the toy, let us say, other may not. Because each one is attached to based on the vasana of a previous life. Then slowly, as you start growing up, how you develop, you erase the vasanas. This is a more important point to observe. That's why we do all samskaras to take care of a previous vasana of that jiva. Why this jata karma adi samskaras are being done? To make sure that the previous life vasanas or impressions should not disturb this jiva. And later on that jiva is being put into discipline. So that jiva, that individual start developing a set of mind in keeping with this present scenario, present situation. So that's why later on if you observe present day, this is called psychological impact. Whatever you are denied in your childhood, you would like to get that when you are adult. Whatever you have been denied in your adulthood, you would like to get later on. Have you not observed this? Either you would like to get or you will be critical of that. Sometimes you cannot get. Suppose if you cannot get, what you will do? Definitely you will be critical of that. So either you are critical of that or you are trying to get that. Both is always backed up by what you did not get before. And whole life as though is being governed by the unsatisfied, unresolved, unattended impressions. And this unsatisfied, unresolved, unattended impressions is nothing. It is because of the association, mental association. Because mentally when I want to associate with something, but either I got the opportunity, but still my mind was not taken care, it will continue. Or I was associating mentally, I did not come across to associate physically, also it will continue. So in short, it is not because of anything, but because of my association. That's why we say it very carefully that when we are associating with anything, based on that we become that. Very nicely it is being highlighted. In fact, one of the rishi, it happened, I forgot his name, I'll get back to you later on. That rishi was doing ritual, and then suddenly discovered one tiger was chasing a deer, and finally a deer gave a birth to the baby and ran away, and of course the tiger took care of it. Okay, how? Let us not get into. And this rishi was very sympathetic, very nice, very kind, tried to take care of this fawn, and that fawn started growing. And of course during ritual time that deer became deer and really got trained. Ritual time will come and sit next to the rishi and was very part of the ashram. And the rishi was so touched by this deer, and towards his end of life he started thinking of only deer. Once I die, what will happen to the deer? A deer came on the way. Why are you bothered? The rishi, please understand, he started only thinking, once I die, what will happen to the deer? And the story goes further. He was born later on as animal. Because what you think, that you become. That's why one has to be very careful. And especially towards the end of the life. And interestingly, we do not know when our life is going. Whether today or tomorrow, nobody knows, nobody can say. We assume, you understand? Suppose suddenly, if at least corona comes, you have got 5 to 10 days, okay? You can plan yourself, okay? Once you understand that your what is called oxygen level is less. Okay, you can count. Get all your checkbooks and all everything. Okay, let me write it down. Give it everybody everything. So okay, no problem. I am done. You understand? At least you have few days. Imagine suddenly your breath stops. Breathing stops. I'm not talking about accident or other things. Then what will happen? And any moment anything happen. There we say the way you are thinking, based on your thinking, now next life is going to start. The next life key is the last moment thought. Remember this point. If you are an elevated person, your thinking is elevated all the time, definitely you will have elevated life. If you have complete understanding of yourself, of course there is no life. If there is slightest doubt, you understand? If there is slightest doubt, don't worry, next life, okay? This is the truth, this is the reality. That's why all struggle is nothing, all discipline is nothing, to make sure that mind is getting elevated and elevated. Can you see this point? And the more the mind is elevated, you will discover you are not affected by anything that happens in you and around you. And including when body will not be able to breathe, you should not be affected. That is the test case. Developing the objective, including when body is not able to breathe properly, still, okay, time has come. Very good. That's why when a person really understands this, of course what will happen? We will see how the life moves, or else life will be like, he gives the, how this eclipse happens. We have a concept of eclipse. We never say that, you know, this moon stops, or moon is in between this earth. It's not like that, earth and sun. But we use this word very carefully, that there is a called Rahu, a planet which comes in between. That's why eclipse happens. Means that's why eclipse time we consider as not good time at all, for your kind information, or for all of you. That's why we then don't do any auspicious thing during eclipse time. In fact, we follow at least 7 days. If any eclipse happens, after eclipse, once upon a time, nowadays things have changed, we never do any yatra also. We never go anywhere for 7 days. Yatra was not allowed. Of course, no marriage, nothing will be done within 7 days of eclipse. After 7 days only, the impact of the eclipse continues. That's strong. It affects mind like anything. However, how this happens, we'll see more of it tomorrow. Please close your eyes. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.